They really thought it was over. They really thought the cameras going off meant the story ended. But what happened after WWE Raw went off air? That wasn't just extra footage. That was something far more dangerous, far more personal, and honestly, far more disrespectful than anything we've seen in weeks. Because Roman Reigns didn't just attack CM Punk, he sent a message. And if you're a real fan, I need you to answer this right now in the comments before we go any further. Was this a calculated move, or did Roman Reigns completely lose control? Let's get into it. The arena lights dim slightly. The crowd is still buzzing, still alive, still chanting long after Raw officially ends. The kind of energy that tells you something isn't finished yet. CM Punk is still in the ring. Not rushing. Not celebrating. Just standing there, soaking it in. You know that look he has. The one where he's not just hearing the crowd. He's measuring them. Studying them. Almost like he's deciding something in his head. And here's the thing a lot of people missed. Punk didn't leave. He could have. He should have. But he didn't.
Why?
Drop your answer in the comments. Why do you think CM Punk stayed in the ring after Raw ended? Because what happened next makes that decision look either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. The music never hit. No warning. No build-up. Just chaos. Out of nowhere, Roman Reigns. Not walking. Not posing. Not doing the slow, calculated tribal chief entrance. He stormed the ring. And the energy shifted instantly. This wasn't the Roman Reigns you see on TV. This wasn't the composed, untouchable champion. This was something else. Something raw. Something angry. Something that looked personal. And, before Punk could even fully react.
Boom.
Superman punch.
Clean.
Violent. Unexpected. The kind of strike that doesn't just hurt, it humiliates. The crowd didn't cheer at first. They gasped. Because nobody expected it. And that's when it hit everyone. This wasn't scripted for the show. This wasn't part of the broadcast narrative. This was after the cameras. Or, at least it was supposed to be. Let me ask you something real quick. Do you think WWE planned this moment? Or did Roman Reigns take things into his own hands? Because the way this unfolded, it didn't feel clean. It didn't feel controlled. It felt like something broke. Punk dropped to one knee, stunned. You could see it in his face, that flash of shock. Not fear. Not panic. Just surprise. And then, Roman didn't stop. He grabbed Punk, dragged him up, and drove him into the mat with a thunderous slam that echoed through the entire arena. No theatrics. No posing. Just destruction. And the crowd? Now, they were fully awake. Half of them were screaming. Half of them were in disbelief. And the other half? They were filming. Because deep down everyone knew this moment was going to go viral. But here's where things get even more intense. Roman stood over Punk, not moving, just staring down at him. And if you've watched Roman Reigns long enough, you know that stare. That's not just dominance. That's judgment. That's him saying, "You don't belong here." And whether you like it or not, that's exactly what this felt like. Let's pause for a second. Because I want your honest opinion. Do you think Roman Reigns sees CM Punk as a real threat, or just an outsider trying to take his spot? Be real. No fence-sitting. Now back to the chaos. Punk starts getting up.
Slowly.
Using the ropes. And this right here? This is what separates CM Punk from almost everyone else. Most people would stay down. Most people would roll out. Most people would survive. But not Punk. He turned around, locked eyes with Roman, and smiled.
Yes.
Smiled. After getting blindsided. After getting dropped. After getting disrespected in front of thousands. He smiled. And you could feel the tension explode. Because that smile, that wasn't weakness. That was defiance. That was him saying, "You picked the wrong one." And just like that, he fired back. Right hand. Left hand. Another shot. The crowd erupted. Now it wasn't shock anymore. Now it was chaos. Now it was a fight. Not a segment. Not a storyline. A fight. Roman staggered back for a split second. Just a split second. But it was enough to tell you something critical. CM Punk is not intimidated. Not even a little bit. But here's where Roman reminded everyone exactly who he is. One counter. One perfectly timed strike.
Spear.
Devastating. Cut Punk in half. And this time, Punk didn't bounce back.
He stayed down.
And Roman, he didn't celebrate. He didn't raise a title. He didn't even look at the crowd. He just stood there, breathing heavily, looking down at Punk like he just proved something. Like this wasn't about winning. It was about sending a message. And here's the scary part. What message do you think that was? Drop it in the comments. What was Roman trying to prove with this attack? Because from where I'm standing, this wasn't just about CM Punk. This was about control. Roman Reigns has built an empire, dominated everyone, crushed legends, destroyed challengers. But CM Punk? He doesn't play by those rules. He doesn't acknowledge anyone.
He doesn't fall in line.
And that's dangerous. Not just for Roman, but for everything Roman represents. So, what do you do when someone like that shows up? You don't wait. You don't negotiate. You don't test the waters. You eliminate the threat. Immediately.
Publicly.
Violently. That's exactly what Roman tried to do. After the show. Off the record. When people thought it was safe. Let's be real for a second. Was this the smartest move Roman could have made, or the biggest mistake of his career? Because here's the truth nobody wants to admit.
He didn't finish the job.
Punk was down.
Yes.
But he wasn't done. And if you know anything about CM Punk, you know this only makes things worse. The camera phones kept rolling. Security hesitated. The crowd kept screaming. And Roman? He finally turned to leave.
Slow.
Controlled. Back to that composed, tribal chief energy. Like he flipped a switch. Like the rage was gone. But before he stepped out, he looked back one more time. At Punk.
Still down.
Still recovering. And that look said everything. It said, "This is my yard. This is my company. And you don't belong." Now I need you to answer this. Who owns WWE right now in your opinion? Roman Reigns or CM Punk? No middle answers.
Pick one.
Because this moment, this wasn't the end. This was the beginning. Think about it. CM Punk just got attacked after Raw. Embarrassed. Targeted. Disrespected. And you really think he's going to let that slide? Let me ask you something important. What do you think CM Punk does next? Does he call Roman out? Does he wait? Or does he strike back when Roman least expects it? Because if there's one thing history has taught us, it's that CM Punk doesn't forget. And he definitely doesn't forgive. And Roman? He just lit the fuse. The real question is, who explodes first? Because now, it's not about championships. It's not about titles. It's not even about main events. It's personal. And when things get personal in WWE, that's when things get dangerous. So let's break this down one more time. Roman Reigns didn't just attack CM Punk. He ambushed him after the show, without warning, and tried to send a message to the entire locker room. But here's the twist nobody is talking about. What if that message backfires? What if instead of weakening Punk, he just created something far more dangerous? Because angry CM Punk? Focused CM Punk? Disrespected CM Punk? That's a different animal. That's a different animal. And Roman might have just unleashed it. So now I leave you with this final question, and I want everyone watching to answer it. When CM Punk and Roman Reigns finally face each other, who walks out? No explanations. Just names. Because one thing is guaranteed after what we saw. This isn't over. Not even close. And the next time they meet, there won't be any cameras turning off to save anyone.